Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Welcome to today's episode of Top Deck. We're covering a top 300 Jund Company historic deck, actually. So this particular version is by Pepper Smoke. Congratulations, Pepper Smoke, on hitting the top 300 here. I believe it was right at the tail end of February. So congrats. I know many of you that follow and support the channel have been asking for this deck. So very excited to be showing it to you here today and showcasing it. On a side note, I am doing Twitch on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and a lot of those are subscriber interaction plays and channel supporter plays where we can play together. So just quick call out and great way to support the channel as well, my friends. Call to action for those of you that are new, as always, please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there, and feel free to like the video if you guys like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch as well. So quickly, I appreciate you all tuning in. We got a lot to cover. We are going to dive through the main board deck list here and the strategy. We'll talk about how to sideboard for your best of 3 lineups. Then we're going to go play some competitive Magic here today with this deck as well, so you guys can see exactly how it works out. So with that, we'll dive right in because we do have a lot going on, as I mentioned. So this is your traditional sacrifice deck, so big key here, stealing your opponent's creatures. You got Cat Cauldron going on with the Witch's Oven. We did pick up Scrap Heap Scourger from one of the Kaladesh remastered sets released. We also have things like Priest of Forgotten, Dreadhorde Butcher, which is a nice, great add, if you ask me, and works really well in this shell. And then additionally, other pingers, sacrificers, way to draw cards, and those things. But the biggest piece here is Collected Company, or Coco. So what this guy's doing is at instant speed, you can either do it into the attack or on the defense, depending on how you're playing them. Generally, a lot of players like to play this on the defense side, but I usually say just keep an eye on your opponent's mana base. But here we look at the top 6 cards. We put 2 creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from among them on the battlefield, put the rest on the bottom of our library in any order. So hugely creature-based deck. You guys can see that. We really only have 2 non-creature spells, which does make a difference, and obviously we are running Gigantha here. So this whole thing is really, really competitive in terms of tying down our opponents' creatures, aggro decks, which Historic is very aggro heavy and creature heavy. But if you do get into some of those late game decks, we do have that ability to really ping damage, deal damage to our opponents rather quickly as well, and hang in there, kind of a thing. So that is the strategy and objective of this deck, my friends. Now, when we look at the sideboard here, we do have a lot of additional options that make a huge difference in this particular version with Pepper Smoke here. So we will talk about it in terms of aggro, the mid-range, and the late game. So things like Thoughtseize is really helpful in this. But when we talk about the aggro decks, we have to think about kind of 2 things. One, is it really kind of an enchantment-based deck? Is this going to be the Azorius Auras or Orzhov Auras? And now I'm starting to see Esper Auras, kind of a thing. I'm looking forward to showcasing that one for you. But things like that where you do need to pop in a Thoughtseize against an aggro deck, or are they more creature based? So again, we do have some things here that we can use, but things like Heartless Act are going to be huge. Noxus Grasp is huge as well. Abrade can be very helpful. Witch's Vengeance, you're absolutely going to want to play against things like Elves, Goblins in particular. You're going to want to play those things. Now, again, if you are running those Orzhov or Azorius enchantment decks, you drop in Reclamation Sage, kind of a thing. So those are some big callouts there in terms of those decks to keep in mind. If you do run into something like a Neostorm or some sort of combo deck early on, again, you're going to want to have those direct kill spells like Heartless Act, Noxious Grasp. Thoughtseize is a good one to have in there as well. Mass Vandal helps you against the Auras decks. So really got to think about that way. You may run into a Prison deck, which is a great segue for us to more mid-range. Additionally, you may run into your traditional sacrifice deck. You may also hit the Coco decks as well, or Jund Sacrifice, the traditional one, at which case then you're going to want to put things like a Braid in there. Mass Vandal can help you in that space. Reclamation Sage. The mirror matches, you're certainly going to want to run Vraska or Korvold. That's a big trade and works really nicely in those spaces. So things to keep in mind. And then we just kind of line up a little bit differently in terms of how we're going to board, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then when it comes to late game, you're going to run things like Thoughtseize. You may want to consider Reclamation Sage. You may want to consider these two as well. But generically, you're probably going to be okay. The big one here is at the top end. You don't need claim the firstborn per se usually. Sometimes it's nice to cast it on your own guys to activate it. That can also get you a win rather quickly too. So just other considerations, but the big one's really that Thoughtseize for those things like Azor's Control. And obviously we are starting to see some of those ultimatum decks as well. So great callouts, great considerations. Now, when we think about boarding against aggro, again, it's going to be kind of dependent, like we mentioned, enchantment-based decks, non-enchantment-based decks, creature-based, really flipping between Witch's Vengeance, potentially Reclamation Sage, Mass Vandal, and some of these direct kill spells. What I would look to move out, to be honest, is going to be things, in my opinion, I don't mind things at the higher end, like a Midnight Reaper. You could also drop something like a Dreadhorde Butcher, even though they're fast. The ability to trade and kill stuff off rather quickly can be really helpful. Obviously, we can sack our Butcher and take something out, but that re-engine of Fill is also a good one that you can potentially move out. I like it. Again, depends on play style kind of a thing, but those are some considerations. Creature-based aggro, you're certainly going to want Claim the Firstborn, and those kinds of things. Now, you could always play Thoughtseize in there too if you know that they're going to have some counter magic going on for you or something like that. But Coco at the top end isn't bad there. You could always drop one Coco if you wanted to, but really how I would think through that aggro lineup. Then when we get to mid-range, like we talked about, this is going to be that mirror match. Personally, I think you move more towards the center here a little bit. You bring in the Vraska, the Korvold items as well, or creatures. I don't mind dumping Scrap Heap Scrounger, to be honest. We don't run the Graveyard Lockout, so just be careful on that. Your opponent still might be running that. It was more a Euro trap in the past. Obviously, Jun Coco has really strengthened, and the sack decks have strengthened again with the removal of kind of the Sultai, the Euro component of that. Other things to watch out for are going to be Rakdos, Arcanist, kind of in the mid-range space. So again, dependent here, you're going to want those direct kill spells. Similar style, again, on what I would consider, but really moving this way. Again, if they're not as creature-based, you can flip out the Claim the Firstborns and go from there, my friends. Last but not least, those late game decks, as we mentioned, really here I would consider just playing Thoughtseize, and then anything else that you may need to support your deck, I would flip out the Claim the Firstborn. So that, my friends, is really the aggro, the mid-range, and the late game lineup for our Jund Company deck here. Excited to go play some Magic with this deck, so let's go ahead and hop into it here. But before we do, I will save and exit that, sorry. Before we do, I'm in the top 283. I was at the top 50. I'm doing decay here, running this just not because I'm trying to camp, but actually trying to see how long someone can stay there when you hit the top 50, and we'll go from there. So with that, I think if you guys caught this one last time, I am gonna have to go into traditional play. I can't do traditional standard play. It's not allowing me to run these decks, oddly, so we can't even select it, which is too bad. So we're gonna go play. I did the Jeskai Pyrocycling deck. If you guys are fans, see, now we can switch. If you guys are fans of standard, last time we ran this Gruul Goblins deck, you guys should absolutely check out, super fun. But we're running the Jund Company deck, so let's go ahead and play this here. I will play 4 best of 1, depending on how quick they go, maybe 5 best of 1 matches for us here today, so you guys can really see how this deck works. We got no rune up. As always, Planeswalkers, just a huge thank you. Really appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Let's go with it. I do have a sack outlet with Wolfstrider, so we'll keep it not as aggressive as I'd like to be at the beginning, but we'll try it. Looks like we're playing a sack deck ourselves. This could be the Arcanist deck, though. Ooh, something a little bit different. With the Valky. Very, very aggressive. So like I was saying, Planeswalkers, appreciate the support. We'll go from here and see how it goes. Jund it is. We'll get rid of one land. So this is a non-traditional sack deck. At least I haven't seen it, or Jund deck. But these are all good things to be taken on. So if we can, we'll steal the Valky next turn. Now we're going to steal Ooze instead. We'll keep that one. We'll see if we can get away with it. They did let us get away. All right. We are good. Ooh, there we go. So that was a kind of traditional historic deck there, my friends. So let's see if we can hit something else here. But you got the gist. We didn't get to Coco, though. Which hopefully we can do and will be our game plan here. Against that deck, if it continued to be more creature based, I would have flipped in some direct kill spells there. So let's go ahead and try out our Jund Coco here again. Hopefully we hit something like a Goblins or Elves deck. Generally speaking, it's probably gonna be a lot of fast stuff, but we'll see. So Donnie Toast Man it is. All right, so here we go. So now we can see the Witch's Oven going. We're going to be first. We will certainly go with this. We can do this one first. Could have played Cauldron Familiar, though. But never know. All right, so certainly we can do this. Ooh. Should have stolen. Actually, that was a misplay on my side. Should have stolen. Should have attacked in, then should have sacked, and then dropped Mayhem Devil. Well, actually, no, that wouldn't have been the right play. Apologies. So we're going to be okay here, though. So we'll do this. We'll pay 2. We will sack the Cauldron Familiar. Add 2. Drop this guy in. We're going to steal. We'll clip this guy. There we go. Now we got board control. Yeah, they're done. Oh, I hit myself. Meant to say good game. Yep, we totally crushed it. So that's how it goes, even though I did misplay off that start there. So should have played that a little bit different order, but we did make up and it worked out. So that is Elves, which is a really nice best of 1 deck. We certainly had a really nice start against that, though. So still no Coco yet, though. All right, let's see. We'll go into our 3rd match here. These historic matches are relatively fast. They're very quick. Either you hit or you don't, and you move on. Let's see what our Jund Company deck does. All right. 3rd match here. Chubby Hamster. Can we get a collected company? Can you give me one? Oh, we will keep this though, because I do like the Witch's Oven. Uh-oh. This could be a rogues deck, huh? I'm okay with that. Fatal Push. Yep. Oh. That's too bad. Mayhem Devil was the right play there. So this could be a Rakdos Arcanist deck. We'll see though. We haven't seen the Arcanist yet. I'm gonna do that because I'll lose 3 life. There we go. Let's see if we can get away with this one. I got something there. Another Fatal Push. Ooh, This time we'll kill him. We could get a land and get a Coco. We could see it. All right. So we have game here though. Because we can steal, claim the firstborn. Boom! Alright. We'll go to game 4. 3-0 with this deck. Let us see if we can pull off a Coco. Collected company for you guys. All right. Donnie Toastman it is again. Let's see what we got, Donnie. Oh, we're not getting it. It's the Elves deck again. So we could do that. I'll let him ramp a little bit though. Never mind. I won't be letting him ramp. Maybe I will. I'll let him ramp. I misplayed there, by the way. I should drop Blood Crypt. That thing we're gonna have to get rid of. Well, I can tamp them too. And let's sack on the stack. Oh, it didn't go the right way I wanted. That's okay. Bah! Should have attacked in and played that. That was a bad play on my end. Hopefully, my friends, we can get to this Coco here. We'll see. Generally, the Elves decks run Craterhoof, so... There's a Coco. So we gotta see my opponent play it. So this guy is where you start getting a lot of crater hoofs going. And searching. Ooh, there you go. Oh, another Coco. They get 2 and we don't get any in 4 matches. In 4 matches. They have lethal here, too. Here comes Crater Hoof. Boom! Very, very nice. All right. So we lost to an Elves deck that hit right. We would have played that a little bit differently, though. So not that I don't think it would have held us or came back, because we just didn't get a lot of the stuff that we needed to keep a lot of the things under control. But let's go ahead here and see if we can hit one of those Cocos, you guys. We still got a few minutes. We'll go into 5. We'll see if we can do it. Donnie Toastmaster. Let's see what we can hit. Go from there. There, we have a Coco. We have a Coco. We don't have the right mana base, but we have a Coco. So I'm going to try it. Let's see if we can do it. Not the right mana base, but we got a Coco. Fumal Pung. A lot of these games don't get to 4, but I mean, you guys saw the Elves deck go that far. We'll keep it. Not that I want to. Do I think it's that good? This starting hand? No, I wouldn't keep this probably. But I want to show you guys the Coco. Can we say that one more time? The Coco. Uh-oh. What do we got? Zombies deck? Oh, don't take my collected company. Please don't take it. Take the Mayhem Devil. I'm okay with that one. Oh. We got a lot of lands too, guys. Just let me get to curve, please. 2 lands in a row. There we go. Let's do that one first. Because we can look at the goat for a land. And we'll think about it. Alright, we're gonna look here. Land. Yes! We can play it on the defense. Ah, yes, we got collected company. Oh, I'm so happy we get to play this, you guys. You have no idea. All right, 5. Is it Corvold? They're gonna do it. So are we. All right, we will do a double butcher. Because we got 3 of these guys. we got there? We can double block a ton of things here. Ooh, Chandra's gonna hurt. Chandra's gonna hurt. Ooh, I'm okay with that though. I need to move it. I'm not gonna get a sack off it though. We attack him with red. They're gonna lose their guy. Can block on 2. I might need to hang on to that.
Here.
Oh.
Every death is an opportunity to increase my influence. Don't you just love
No blocks. Shoot, should have kept it.
I was bored anyway.
Bummel Pung. No. See, I told you I should have hung on to the land. Oh.
I'm looking for new
What a top deck for these guys. Oh my gosh. Why did you not just +1? That's just mean. All right. So we'll end on that, Planeswalkers. We did see the collected company workout. You can do a lot of mechanics and triggers there, so let's go ahead. We'll talk about it here quickly. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see as much as I like, but the difference is it does show how capable this deck is also without it, to be honest. But it's a nice top end that gives you a lot of ability to do a lot of things relatively quickly. So again, we did... In best of 1, we played 5 matches. We went 3-2. Certainly would have played differently had I not showed couldn't get the collected company to actually fall into my hand or trigger. We didn't really get to see Midnight Reaper a whole lot. We saw some of the other stuff play like your traditional Jund. It is a nice addition there. Obviously there's other things that we get there for the best of 3 Sideboard like we talked about. A lot of the stuff, because it was aggro based, You know, we could have thought about Thoughtseize, but really Heartless Act, Noxious Grasp, even Abrades could have been stuff. Witch's Vengeance we would have thrown in against the Elves decks and those kinds of things too. So really, Planeswalkers, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Certainly a fun deck, a nice variation. Jun Company. We did get this played once in 5 matches, so pretty crazy. It just goes to show like how often you may not actually hit this, but also how strong this deck is without it. Really powerful if we do get it to trigger. Obviously, like I said, we did take the Dreadhorde Butchers. We could have taken some different things. We could have grabbed a Priest of the Forgotten. We could have flipped on a Mayhem Devil, those kinds of things, but I wanted to play these instead, which is one of the reasons. And then obviously that got us the Chandra off the board, and then had some problems. If I would have kept that card and not had discard, we might have been okay there, but I think we would have been in trouble because we would have been locked out anyway, my friends. So with that, you know, I know this is certainly a very strong deck right now. I know it has a high win rate in both best of 1 and best of 3. It does run very well either way, Planeswalkers. So just a good one to keep an eye on. So honestly, I think it's probably tier 1 for both best of 1 and best of 3 right now. But stay tuned. We will do a monthly tier list deck for Historic this month. So we'll get an additional double take on it, and you guys can check that out. So Planeswalkers, if you do have questions or comments, let me know down below. Feel free to hop in the Discord server, my friends. Love hanging out and chatting. Lots of great friendly faces in there to help answer questions as well, aside from myself. So hope you guys enjoyed today's episode on the Jun Company deck. We did hit once with Collected Company on 5, so unfortunately it took us a while, but I wanted to keep playing so that we could do that. It's the least I can do when we are sitting at the top 200 right now. So Planeswalkers, appreciate your support as always. Feel free to subscribe to the channel down there. Like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Until next time, Planeswalkers, we'll see you again soon. Stay safe, and we got a lot more stuff coming your way, and I'll continue to do some of these historic decks here. Like I said, would like to do a tier list or updated one for you for this month, because we did see some new stuff with Keldheim. So all right, Planeswalkers, until next time.